It's my pleasure. You kidding? That's what we're out here doing. We've been talking to people for 6 weeks now.
Yeah?
And you caught me in a good mood because it's the last day.
Cool. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Okay, let's get into it, I suppose.
I would think so.
How are you finding working with Megadeth?
I'm not. I'm playing with them. Big difference. I've made my career working with other artists and bands and studios and movie soundtracks. I've been working for 15 years doing that. Now I'm finally playing in a band.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a big difference, to the average person, the difference between work and play. But working means, being accountable to a boss and punching a clock and just having a paycheck and not being part of something. I play in this band, and as a musician, it's like night and day difference. And I think it's just great.
Yeah. Cool. So, when you were playing with, Widowmaker and Sabotage and that, did you see that more as, a fill-in thing or something?
Well, it was a fill-in thing, even though it ended up being, a couple years in each situation. Dee had a guitar player, Bernie Torme, who's the guitar player in Widowmaker. Okay?
Yep.
And Bernie's mom got sick, and Dee called me up to just fill in and get started on the record for him to give him something to do. And then Bernie decided never to come back, and Dee said, well, you just want to stay here? I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. I like the music. I like the band. They're like, great, Then, it continued on for a little bit. Sabotage was the same thing. I got hired to finish a record that they couldn't finish. They didn't have a guitar player. And as I was working in the studio, the guys are likable guys. I had a great time with them. Me and John Oliva became, really good friends, and I enjoyed working for Paul O'Neill. But it was pretty much the John Oliva, Paul O'Neill show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time with them. They make great music. I wish them well. We're still friends. But again, it was kind of like, filling in for somebody. I think Chris Oliva had passed away not too long before that. Alex Skolnick had just gotten fired. They just needed somebody to come in and play guitar.
Yeah. Cool. So is replacing longtime guitarist Matty Friedman a hard slot to fill?
No. So actually, I'm not replacing him. He just decided to quit. He wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm really not replacing anybody. I'm just, the new guitar player.
Oh, yeah, cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Replacing Marty would be impossible because he's such a unique player. He's got a great style. He's been in the band for 10 years. I didn't, do anything to cause him leaving. He just left, and I was, the solution to a pretty heavy problem at the time.
Yeah. Cool. So do you think your guitar stylings have changed the style of changed the style of Meg?
As a soloist, no, because if you listen to the new record, it sounds like me.
Yeah.
That was one thing that Dave really liked,
Cool. Well, that's good. Putting your own thing into it.
As a rhythm player, it took quite a bit to change.
Yeah.
Because he's got such a unique rhythm guitar style. Playing this aggressive in this band, it takes a minute to really dig into the chords.
Okay. What was it like working with Alice Cooper?
That was cool.
Yeah.
Here I was, kicking around New York City, playing on a couple, demos, maybe a record or two here and there. Pretty much, any touring was being done in the club circuit at that level. And then I got hired to be his musical director, run the whole band, and the first show was at Wembley in London.
Wow.
That was cool.
Yeah.
You talk about there's a few people that, you talk to, or you work with, or you work for, who you look at and go, wow, and, boy, did my life make a good, take a good direction, because now I'm, in a limo with Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
15 years prior, I was, learning to smoke pot, listening to $1 Billion Babies,
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Do you think you'll ever work with him again, or?
No.
No.
I don't think so. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
He's moved on and carried on, and he's had a terrific run of it, and now I'm in Megadeth.
Yeah. Excellent.
I don't know who got the better of the two deals. But I certainly owe him a lot, because he brought my name to, the attention of the world community of, musicians. That was my first really big rodeo, and it led to many, many other things after that.
Yeah. Excellent. Do you remember what it was like working with Michael Bolton, ages ago?
Pretty hateful.
Really?
He was still trying to be Sammy Hagar at that point.
Yeah.
He's a great singer. He was writing rock songs, but it just wasn't believable, and he was having a lot of problem with I think it was Columbia, was still the label before it became Sony. And he was a bit condescending, you know. He really wasn't a pleasant person to be around, you know, and I was 23. So that was 1986, right? 87.
Yeah.
How the hell? I was like maybe 24 years old at the time, and pretty impressionable. And he, like I said, he wasn't like a really cool person and very standoffish, but I learned a lot from him. Then he became Engelbert Humperdinck and went on to be, you know, every housewife's wet dream.
Yeah.
You know, talented guy.
I read somewhere that the Trans-Siberian Orchestra would be doing some more Christmas renditions soon. Is that going to happen?
Be doing some more Christmas what?
Renditions.
Well, I did 2 records, Christmas records, with that orchestra. I had conducted the orchestra in live situations on the tour 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the third album was a non-Christmas album, which is called Beethoven's Last Night, which was really cool because I got to sight read a lot of Beethoven, a lot of Mozart.
Cool.
Whether or not they're going to do another Christmas record, I don't know. I don't think so because the 2 that they have haven't been fully exploited yet, you know?
All right.
So, I mean, I think it's foolish to keep putting records out that are going to take away sales from the other records.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, Paul O'Neill will do whatever it is that he wants to do.
Cool. So do you think you'll be playing in Megadeth for a long time to come?
Yeah, consider I'm in the band.
Yeah.
You know, me and Dave have been together for 6 weeks, having a great time talking to people all over the planet, you know. Gosh, I would like to think so.
Yeah, good. Cool. So when you play old stuff live, are you gonna change your parts?
No, absolutely not.
No?
No, those songs deserve to be played how they are on the record.
Yeah.
You know, I remember as a kid watching Song Remains the Same, you know, from Led Zeppelin. And watch Jimmy, like, you know, completely debacleize, I don't even know if that's a word, but, you know, make a mess of the solos, you know, and it's like, man, that doesn't sound like a solo from Stairway to Heaven, what up?
Yeah.
You know, so I know that learning Marty solos and parts and Chris Poland's solos and parts and Jeff Young's solos and parts is something that Megadeth fans want to hear, and I love doing that. You know, we added The Conjuring, Wake Up Dead, Tornado of Souls into the set towards the end of the tour, and it's just like, you know, seeing everybody in the audience face light up.
Excellent.
You know, and then, of course, I'll be playing my solos as well.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of cool because they get to hear each guitar player's solos.
Cool. So, what sort of feedback have you had from the new album and stuff?
Well, we just got word from our manager in the States. There's something called going for ads, which is a radio term. And the first week, we got 97 stations added to the record.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the buzz that's going on over there right now. You know, it's kind of weird because me and Dave have been over here and kind of isolated from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And now to hear that, like, almost 100 stations added the record is just, like, a great, great thing. Everybody's excited about the record. You know, we've heard comments like, man, thanks so much, my Megadeth is back, this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a positive across the board, and I think it's going to be a good shot in the arm for the heavy metal community to just say, come on, let's rally the troops and go.
Yeah, that's great. So, you know how Kiss is still going after all these years? Do you think you'll end up like that?
Oh, God, I hope not.
No?
No.
You call it quits before then?
I think it's a little much. I mean, you know, I like Gene as a person. I think he's great. And Eric Singer's been a friend of mine for about a dozen years or so. But, you know, after a while, I'm like, you know, whatever. I know the inside scene on that organization, or a lot of the inside things. It's like, no, not at that level. I mean, I'd like to always play music. You know, I think my career will end when my life ends.
Yeah.
Because I'm a guitar player. This isn't like something that I'm going to do and worry about a pension later. I play guitar until the day I die.
Yeah.
In what capacity, I don't know. But certainly not, you know, with fire and blood and that stuff.
Cool. Okay, so do you think Megadeth will make their way over to Australia to play?
We have August, the first week in August, you know, pretty much in the can for touring over here.
Cool.
They haven't given us cities and corresponding dates yet, but I saw Australia, you know, earmarked for that week in August. Which I certainly hope so. This is my 3rd time in Australia, and I'm looking forward to the 4th trip.
Yeah.
A lot, you know.
Excellent. Cool. Well, thanks heaps.